Scream is a story that has disturbed millions of horror fans, but the true story behind it may be even darker. Released in 1996, Scream begins with a now iconic phone call to high school student Casey Becker, asking her about her favorite scary movies before brutally giving her the knife.
You like scary movies?
From there, a masked killer known as Ghostface starts targeting teenagers in the small town of Woodsboro, California. Our main character, Sydney Prescott, is still reeling from the murder of her mother a year earlier, and soon finds herself at the center of the killer's game. The Ghostface persona itself was mostly fictional, but the backstory I'm here to talk about is much more chilling than a Halloween mask. The seeds of Scream's premise were planted in the real-life terror of the Gainesville Ripper, a murderer whose brutal, calculated attacks on college students in 1990 horrified Florida and captured national attention. In the summer of 1990, the quiet college town of Gainesville, Florida was about to be consumed by fear. Over the course of 4 days, from August 24th to August 27th, a series of brutal murders would grip the nation, carried out by a 36-year-old drifter named Danny Rolling. On August 24th, dressed in black and armed with duct tape and a combat knife, Rolling slipped into the apartment of University of Florida freshman Sonia Larson and Christina Powell. After breaking into the girls' apartment, Danny Rolling found Christina Powell asleep on the couch downstairs, but passed her by, heading upstairs to where he bound and gagged Sonia. Then, returning to the living room, he assaulted and finished Christina before going back upstairs to do the same to Sonia. The following day, on August 25th, Danny Rolling entered the home of Christina Hoyt, another college student. Finding her place empty, he positioned himself and waited for her to return. The attack mirrored the first. He bound her with duct tape, violated, and slashed her. The final attack happened on August 27th, when Rolling entered the apartment of Tracy Pauls and Manny Taboda. This time he encountered resistance, as Rolling was surprised to find a man in the apartment. Manny fought back, but Rolling eventually overpowered and killed him. He then turned his attention to Tracy, assaulting and taking her life. At all 3 locations, Rolling had taken the time to attempt to clean the scene, but despite his attempts to be careful, he ended up leaving duct tape and his knife at the 3rd scene. The murders gripped Gainesville in a panic. Some students began sleeping in groups while others fled back home. A curfew was imposed, with the university eventually closing. Kevin Williamson first encountered the Gainesville Ripper case in 1994 when he was still a struggling actor and screenwriter. One night, while house-sitting, he tuned into an episode of Turning Point. The episode covered Danny Rolling's spree in Gainesville. It wasn't so much the crimes themselves that unnerved him, it was watching a story about a killer who could slip into an ordinary home, while he was alone in someone else's home. That creeping fear, the sudden realization that danger could already be inside with you, planted the seed for Scream. While it is true that the crimes of Rolling inspired the Ghostface killer, the dressing in black, and the use of a combat or hunting knife, Rolling's crimes went far beyond slasher theatrics. The hallmarks of Rolling's crimes, a killer in black breaking into homes, targeting students, curfews, and a community gripped by fear, all made their way into Scream's blueprint, even down to the killer having daddy issues. But the mutilations and gender-specific assaults were left out. Maybe for the better. It's hard to say how that would have gone tonally alongside the meta-commentary aspects of Scream that focus on the tropes of other slasher movies and sometimes go into somewhat silly territory.